Hello, I hope you're doing well. I asked on my Instagram semi-recently whether anyone would be interested in seeing all of my knitting inspiration photos and pictures that I've saved over time, and a lot of people said yes. I thought that this maybe wouldn't be the most interesting video idea, but then one of my favourite knitting YouTubers, Connie G, released a video going through her knitting Pinterest board, and I loved watching that. So hopefully this will be a similar vibe. I don't actually have a Pinterest board. I'm quite staunchly anti-Pinterest. I do keep trying to use Pinterest because I think the idea behind it is really good, but every time I go on there or download the app, it's like 80% ads and the other 20% is the same 10 or 20 images just shown over and over again. And for me personally, I find Instagram a much better source of inspiration. And I also get a lot of inspiration from ready-to-wear clothes and stuff I see on Vinted, which is my main shopping platform for clothes. So anytime I see something that inspires me, I just screenshot it on my phone, and then I put all of those screenshots on a Milanote mood board on the Milanote app. I think maybe it'd be easiest if I just share my phone screen and then you can see exactly what I'm seeing. And I actually think I need to take this off. This is the Zila cardigan if you want to know what the pattern for this is, but it's too hot right now for me to wear it. And let me just share my screen. Oh, I haven't said that since I worked in an office. I don't miss that phrase. So here is my board. It's not particularly like pretty or well arranged, but I know what is where, so it works for me. So we'll start off with my first subcategory of inspiration, and this is tattoo inspired colour work. Now I really like a lot of tattoos that I wouldn't actually put on my body myself. I think my tattoo style is like very sort of fine line and not a lot of like ink, but any tattoo ideas that I really like the look of, I could just put as duplicate stitch or stranded colour work on an item of clothing and have that be the way that I get like my fix. You'll see that butterflies are a big running theme in this. I think I'm going to be making something with some butterfly colour work on it pretty soon. So this is an Urban Outfitters top from Vinted that is very similar to something that I want to achieve in like fit. I don't want what I make to be as holy as this, but the idea is really close. Next I have this Minga London top. This is also from Vinted. This is actually on something knit, and I really like this butterfly specifically. I could see this as like the centerpiece of a 90s or 2000s lower back tattoo. This top must be machine knit because it's quite small stitches, and whatever colour work I do isn't going to be as detailed as this, but the idea is there. This is another Vinted top. Again, like I really like this very 90s motif, especially the exact placement and sizing of this. Oh, here's just a screenshot of an actual tattoo design that I found on Google Images. There's a website called Chartminder where you can feed it any image and it will create a knitting chart from that image. So I tried to do that with this, but I would have to have like 200 stitches on the front of my jumper for it to be this level of detailed, which is not gonna happen. Then I have these double tiger motifs. This is a traditional Thai tattoo, a Sakyant tattoo. I love the symmetry of the two tigers. If I were into a different style of tattoos, I would get this tattoo, but I'm not, so I think eventually I'll put this on the front of a jumper or something. Here are some more butterfly designs. This is literally just a pair of jeans that someone's painted a butterfly onto the bum of, but again the idea is there. And also like I could do this with fabric paint, right? Like it doesn't have to be duplicate stitch. I could knit a jumper and then fabric paint a motif onto the front. That's also an option. And this jumper by Be Creative Knit. I watched her project vlog making this, and it's a really lovely project vlog if you're looking for something more to watch. And they made this sweater with this super traditional tattoo design on it. They also wrote a pattern for this if you want to make this exact sweater. That is the end of my tattoo colour inspiration. That one is kind of a specific idea. The other ones are a lot more vague. So this grouping is just all other cool colour work, all colour work that I've seen other people do that I've just gone, oh my god, like that is genius, that is really beautiful. Starting off with this sweater, I want to own this exact sweater. I've actually saved this exact colour scheme as a separate piece of inspiration in another part of the board, but I love this squiggly detail. It sort of, to me, looks a lot like the wave sweater, but better. I really like the look of the wave sweater pattern, but I think I might have seen it a bit too much, and it also looks very difficult. This probably would be a bit easier to do. The maker of the sweaters also mentioned that they were inspired by the BB sweater. I actually found the sweater by searching through the BB sweater hashtag, which is a really nice colourwork sweater. It's got like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 different colours in it, and this creator's just follow the design with 2 colours. I think it's so striking and cool. Next we have Kaloom, one of my biggest knitting inspirations. Their entire Instagram is gold for me, and this colourwork is so interesting. I've never seen anything like it. They actually do include the chart for their colourwork in their Instagram post, which is just wonderful. I do think that their pieces are made on a knitting machine, because the chart is like 4 squares, like front, back, sleeve, sleeve, which you would then seam up. I love this. I love the vertical stripes on the sleeves. It's genius. Vertical striping and colourwork is one of my favourite looks. Next, this little swatch from Rose Knitwear. They have a tutorial of this on their YouTube channel. Just looks really cool, doesn't it? I think also this is really texturally interesting with the different weights of the yarn used for this. And I like how at first glance this kind of looks quite chaotic, but then when you look at it further, there is order to each row, and each row does follow a specific pattern. I would also love to see a swatch of this knitted in monochrome colours. Oh, this sweater! I love this one. I've been following the designer's journey making this on Instagram, and it is just incredible. It's a deconstructed sweater, more of an art piece than anything else, and it's just so cleverly done. Like, the sleeves are attached to each of the pieces with bunches of safety pins. Each panel has like descriptive writing or alt text written on it, and apart from like the pure art of this, I think that having such large text all over a sweater is really effective, and I think I saved another image. This one. So this fibre artist is crocheting their entire birth control pamphlet and is documenting the entire journey. It's like massive now, it's bigger than any blanket, and again, like, that idea is just straight up good art. But I also really like the look of the large text, and I think that if you made a sweater and just covered the entire sweater with a quote and have the quote design like extend down the sleeves and onto the back, that would be a really cool idea to pull off as well. This fibre artist is just incredible. Look at everything, like every single one of these is gold. I think that they also sell charts for some of their designs. Again, there's some of that 90s tattoo style of artwork in here, which I obviously love. Also, look at this biblically accurate angel. Isn't that wonderful? Next on the board, I don't have much to say about this one. I just think it's a cool example of colourwork. In a world of like a million beautiful Fair Isle style colourwork sweaters, I'm just really drawn to anything that I've never seen before. I just think it's neat. What's next? Oh yeah, this is a small fashion designer, and all of their clothing has this dual colour tone to it, with one colour on the sides of the body and another in the middle. And I've seen a lot of this type of clothing in this colour tone. I think it's very prominent in wetsuits and swimsuits because it's like quite slimming, but I've never seen anything knitted with this. And that would be cool, right? How many times am I going to say something's cool? That would be cool. This would be cool. Oh, this would be cool though. Again, this is from Vinted. This is something from Weekday. Obviously, it's a really fine knit, if it's even knit at all, but this colour scheme of a dark red and a slightly lighter red is gorgeous. Love a zip up. Love anything zip up. This, I feel, would be so hard to recreate in knit, because there's no pattern. I know I don't have the talent to pull this off at this moment in time, but maybe in the future it could be something I look into. Is there any more? Oh yeah, there is one more colourwork inspiration, another vintage item. This is faux fur. As I said before, I love a vertical stripe, and I love how these colours of vertical stripe look. Okay, we are now done with my cool colourwork ideas. Next, oh, I've got a few colour combo ideas First there's this grey and the green that I pulled directly from one of the sweater images. And my other colour combo idea comes from Wool Warehouse actually. Well, no, not initially Wool Warehouse. So when I made my tri-colour Olga sweater, someone on Instagram messaged me saying that it inspired them to make their own tri-coloured Olga sweater, and I was like, oh my god, what colours are you using? Tell me everything. And they sent me a screenshot of their order, and it was these top two drop spell plus a really warm toned beige. And when I saw those colours, I was like, oh no, I need to save that for our future reference. I love this pink toned white with a sort of like greeny mushroomy grey, and I especially like that they're available in Drop Spell, because not only is Drop Spell a nice yarn, I've worked with it before, it's a cotton linen viscose, but it's so cheap. It might be like one of the cheapest yarns I've ever used. It's DK and £2 a ball. We love Drop Spell in this house. That is the colour combo ideas. Oh, now we're on to interesting materials. I have some TikToks saved. Should we watch the TikToks together? Gorgeous. Yes. Love it. I know what's coming. Yeah, knitting with chain. Knitting with chain. Look at that. Incredible. Oh, it's beautiful. Wow. I think I have another short form video of someone working with chain. I think this one is crochet. Yeah, it's beautiful, right? I remember the first time I saw someone working with metal. I was at a flea market in Berlin, and someone had crocheted, I think with wire, to make crochet jewellery. Like very, very, very fine wire. I think they must have used a very small crochet hook. And both of these examples are using much bigger needles or crochet hooks, but I just think it's stunning. Such a wonderful, unique idea. And the only other thing in this category is an even more unique idea, I think. This is one of my Instagram mutuals, and they knitted fairy lights. Are you kidding me? This is stunning. I'm obsessed. I think these examples just serve as a really good reminder that you can knit anything that is remotely string shaped. I think this idea would especially be so wonderful if you could maybe knit like a rectangle and then have it as a wall hanging instead of a lamp. Genius idea. We're now, I think, on to my final category. Yes, we are. Unique designs. This is the one that contains the most ready to wear items in it, because often I'll just see something while I'm scrolling on Vinted and I'm just like, oh, I wonder if I could make that. In fact, there is just this one photo from a knitwear designer, and I just had to screenshot this when I saw it because it's just genius. And I think there are multiple examples in this group of layers of clothing being done together, and this is the only knitwear designer that I've ever seen do it with handmade knits. I've never seen a pattern with this technique of having multiple layers of knit fabric layered over each other, but I think technique wise it shouldn't be too difficult, right? Like you would just pick up stitches on top of picking up other stitches. And I love the cool necklines that you can create when doing stuff like that. I really want to try this out. Oh, this cardigan. This cardigan haunts my Instagram ads. I see this cardigan like twice daily. This brand will not leave me alone. So I've put it on this inspiration board even though there's no way in which that I'm ever not seeing this cardigan again. I am kind of tempted to buy this. Like £74 is probably less than it would cost for me to make, and it is made with cotton, but it is also like very big and boxy. What I really like about this though is the addition of the zips on the sleeves. That would be so easy to implement. You would just like not knit your sleeves in the round. And I think the rest of this cardigan is pretty basic apart from the zips. I do like how it almost seems like the purl stitches in this rib are a different colour. I feel like if I had just seen an ad with this cardigan once, I could have actually been swayed to buy this, but purely because they are shoving this cardigan down my throat so much, I don't want to buy it anymore. It's had the opposite effect on me. Oh, this skirt though. So where did I see this skirt? Oh, I saw it on a creator called Lucy Moon, who does really lovely chill lifestyle vlogs. I follow her on Instagram and she was wearing this. I messaged her asking where it was from, and it is the only knit skirt that I've ever seen that I like. I've seen a lot of knit skirts, but personally they're not for me. However, this one very much could be for me. I also really like how skirts look over jeans or like tailored trousers. I'm really into that trend, and I think that this skirt could look really good over some tailored trousers too. The slits are really nice detail, but I think construction wise this looks easy enough. Like, it's just a really wide rib, and the one thing that you'd have to figure out is like how on earth to do hip increases. I've never knitted any bottoms, and the idea of having to like shape something around your bum sounds like an absolute headache. But if I did make anything, I think it would be this. I already have crochet micro shorts, so I'm not knitting any shorts anytime soon. Maybe I'll make this skirt. This top on Vinted, at first this really confused me. Now I'll be honest, I'm not like 1000% sure of how you wear this top. It has 2 sets of ties hanging down from it. The seller included this image of them wearing it, but I think in this image they're wearing it back to front, and this should be the back with a little lower back cutout, and in the front perhaps those other 2 ties tie across the front of the waist, and then you have another little section that looks like a triangle bra on top of the top. Again, just love the idea of something being multi-layer. Also, the way this ribbing is done is wonderful. There's like 3 bigger ribbing stripes in the middle, and on the sides the ribbing is smaller, and the way it curves up to the neckline is just stunning. I then went on a bit of a hunt to see if I could find this exact top being worn by someone else. So I googled this designer, Sarah Piccini, and I didn't find any other images of this top, but I found these 2 other items. Interestingly, all of these are vintage, and I looked at the designer's website now and it's very bland, so I don't know what happened, but this skirt is wonderful. It's not knit obviously, but again, just multi-layer stuff. Love it. This top as well, I don't particularly like the neckline of this. However, the ideas with using so many different layers, so many different types of yarn. So there's this thicker yarn going on the top of the top. Then we've got some darker green, really thin yarn jutting out of the bottom. And then 2 colours of different kinds of tie below that. Wonderful. Love it. Next, another Vinted item. I think I just really liked the O-ring in this. Other than that, these are really basic crochet shorts. I recently bought some O-rings and I am collecting ways in which I can incorporate them into my knitting. So I thought this was really cute. I think the next image is another, yeah, it's another way that I could use an O-ring. The cut of this top is so simple. I'm sure there are plenty of spaghetti strap knitting patterns out there, but even the idea of just adding like a crochet chain coming from the middle of the bust of the top to tie around your neck just adds a little bit of oomph, doesn't it? I just like the diagonal hem on this. It's the only reason that I saved it. Love anything diagonal. I actually think that the last image that I have to show you today is another diagonal knit. This is a top from Jaded London, and this would be so easy to do, especially with a pattern like the one for the cardigan that I was wearing at the start of the video. I think I saw Amazingish Grace has recently released a crochet pattern for a sleeveless top with a button up front, and it would be no more hassle to install a zip instead of some buttons onto something like that. I'm a big fan of adding cool hardware to my knits, and that is my entire inspiration board. If you know any knitwear designers that you think should belong on my inspo board, please leave their name below. I can never have too much inspiration. I can never get enough of seeing the art that people are able to create with knitting and crochet, and I can feel the effects of their influence rubbing off on me and what I want to make next. I hope you're having a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!